The World Economic Forum's 2019 Global Risk Report declared that humanity was sleepwalking its way to crisis as extreme weather, failure to act on climate change, and natural disasters topped the list. As our largest export, farming has been the economic backbone of New Zealand for over a century and constitutes a significant aspect of our national identity. However, since its revolution during the 18th century, agriculture has been the largest emitter of greenhouse gases and has played a key role in the most pressing issue of our time, climate change. So how is farming contributing to climate change? Well, it mainly emits methane and nitrous oxide through cattle and chemical fertilisers. Farming has been responsible for almost half of all greenhouse emissions in New Zealand, resulting in New Zealand having the 5th highest emissions in the OECD. And what's the magnitude of climate change? Climate change poses serious risk to New Zealand as a small island and could detriment our carefully crafted tourism image, as well as creating huge financial losses for climate-dependent agriculture. Our focus on short-term gain has led to the overuse of chemical fertilisers to raise nitrogen levels and aerate soil. These fertilisers damage soil microorganisms by increasing their pH level, with the acidity removing fungi and bacteria which supply atmospheric nitrogen to the roots. These fertilisers also cause leachate, where chemicals reach New Zealand rivers and lakes, leading to pictures like this, with estimates that 7% of fertiliser leachates. So the solution to these problems? It's the decomposing powerhouse that we can thank for antibiotics, blue cheese, and most importantly, beer. Fungi. Mycorrhizal fungi usually exist entirely underground, growing symbiotically with the roots of plants and grass. For more than 500 million years, the majority of land plants have shared their carbohydrates with mycorrhizal fungi that colonize their root systems. In exchange, the fungi share nutrients with the plants, such as nitrogen and phosphorus. In a functional food web, the phosphorus needs of most plants will be met. Part of it will come from the work of bacteria and decomposer fungi by breaking down residues. The balance will be supplied by mycorrhizal fungi as they exude acids and enzymes that dissolve phosphate compounds and then transport these minerals back to the roots. In recent times, our reliance on chemical fertiliser has significantly reduced the amount of fungi in our soil, because when fertilisers provide lots of phosphate, the plant rejects colonisation. This leaves the fungi as an obligate symbiont. Therefore, they have to reproduce without a host and they cannot survive. So why do we care about the microbiology of soil? Well, mycorrhizal fungi offers significant benefits for plants and grass, without a lot of the drawbacks of chemical fertilisers. The exchange of nutrients increases absorption area by as much as 50 times and increases overall root biomass. It better utilises nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which already exist in the soil, reducing leachate. Its hyphae also absorb and transport soil moisture, which improves the host tolerance to stress and drought. What we will focus on, however, is mycorrhizal fungi's ability to increase the capacity of soil to store carbon. Fungi play an important role in the carbon cycle. During a recent study, scientists discovered that 47 to 70% of all sequestered carbon was being delivered to the tree roots as sugars and then eaten by mycorrhizal fungi. As dead plant matter is broken down by microbes in the soil, that carbon is released back into the air. These microbes require nitrogen to decompose this matter. This is where fungi comes in. Fungi produce nitrogen-degrading enzymes, which allows them to extract nitrogen from the soil. And by extracting faster than the microbes, fungi slows down the decomposition process and more carbon is left in the soil. They essentially fight for the nitrogen, and when mycorrhizal fungi wins, more carbon is left in the soil. So globally, soil is the largest terrestrial reservoir of carbon. By increasing the capacity of this carbon sink, we can reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Rodale Institute estimated that soil can sequester 7,000 pounds of carbon dioxide per acre per year. It's clear that this is a major opportunity for fighting climate change. So current scientific research points to introducing fungi through seeds. However, this would likely be neither time or cost efficient. reducing the likelihood of wide-scale implementation. Instead, I propose Glomus arenicum, or GI. In powdered form, GI can be dissolved in water and applied through irrigation systems, which is the same as current fertilizer. This means farmers will not need to invest the time to learn a new skill set or a new soil treatment method. GI has 3 other main benefits. It is highly saline tolerant and so improves resistance to adverse weather. It also promotes soil stability by binding tiny particles into coarser fragments, and it's been shown to extract nitrogen faster than other soil fungi, making it capable of sequestering more carbon. So I measured the impact of implementing fungi farming against the Treasury's Living Standards Framework, a nationally recognised measure of well-being. Its effects on natural capital include sequestering more carbon, reducing leachate, and improving land health. Its effects on by enhancing New Zealand's reputation for ethical production, there will also be a more positive perception of farmers, increasing social cohesion. By using fungi, farmers will be more aware of the needs and health of their soil, helping them to be more resilient in the future amongst environmental uncertainty. And lastly, we can expect greater export demand in a time of heightened consumer awareness, as well as reduced fertiliser costs from better phosphate penetration. It aids in the decomposition of organic matter, facilitates nutrient cycles and the storage of carbon, helps to build soil structure and protects the plant. Fungi has the potential to be our carbon warrior, and by tipping the bacterial to fungal ratio in fungi's favour, we can tip the climate in our favour. Thank you.